Hi guys, Eevee Guy here. First of all, Happy New Year everybody! And let's start the year with my 8th playthrough, with my Eevee squad. Today I will take them into the Galar region, and I will be playing Pokemon Sword today. My team for this playthrough will be Flareon, Vaporeon, Glaceon, Umbreon, Jolteon and Sylveon. So don't forget to put a like on that video and subscribe to my channel. Eevee will appreciate, and let's go! So we start in post week, and after we meet Leon, he gives me and his annoying brother a starter. I go for Scar Bunny and I name it Not Eevee. After we get access to the Pokemon Center, we take from the box our Eevee squad for this playthrough. Bubbles, Sparky, Fireball, Dark One, Frosty and Tinkerbell. Then finally we reach for the wild area where I can get the evolutionary stones, well, 3 of them at least, the water, the thunder and the firestone. After we get to Motostock, I decide to change my hairstyle, and then when we get to the stadium I put the number 133 in my uniform, for obvious reasons. Then we get introduced to the gym leaders, well, 7 of them. Then later I decide to use the evolutionary stones to evolve Bubbles, Sparky and Fireball. And of course I use the camp so I can get 2 Hearts of Affection from Tinkerbell. Then we find Beatty for a battle, he sends Solosis and I send Tinkerbell. Solosis makes a lot of damage with confusion, but with 3 quick attacks we finish it off. Next is Gothita, so I change for Fireball, and I use 2 Embers and a quick attack to take it down. Last is Athena, so I change for Frosty, then 3 quick attacks are enough to take it down, winning the fight. So we reach Turffield and we go face Milo, the grass type gym leader. But before that we need to have the gym challenge, which is putting these ships on their place. Oh, and I face this gym trainer, which give enough experience for finally Tinkerbell evolve into Sylveon, which is nice. 2 more to go. After we clear the gym challenge, it's finally time to face Milo. He starts with Gossifleur and I go with Fireball, of course. 2 Embers are enough to take it down. Next is Eldegoss, which Milo Dynamax, so I do the same to Fireball. So now we have a fight of giants in the field. Eldegoss goes for Max Overgrow, making a little damage, and I go with Max Flare, turning up the sun, which means my fire type moves will be stronger. Then Eldegoss goes for another Max Overgrow, while my Max Flare makes double the damage. On the next turn, Eldegoss's Max Overgrow leaves Fireball on 4 HP, so we can hit the last Max Flare to take it down, and we win the battle and our first badge. Nothing special happened before I reach Hulburi, well, except the battle with Hop, but it was too easy. So it's time to face Nessa, the water type gym leader. Of course, before we challenge her, we need to pass the gym mission first, which is this maze, but after that we can face her. So she starts with Goldeen and I go with Sparky. I go with Thundershock, which Goldeen survives on the red, and then Goldeen goes for Horn attack. But then I finish it with a quick attack. Next is Arrokuda, which goes down with a single Thundershock. Last is Dreadnought, so I Dynamax and Nessa as well. I go for Max Lightning, making a lot of damage on Dreadnought. Of course Dreadnought uses Max Geyser, which doesn't do that much, but it sets up the rain. So on the next turn, Dreadnought is faster and attacks first, and because of the rain, its Max Geyser takes down Sparky. So I send Bubbles, which takes a Max Darkness from Dreadnought, then goes for Water Gun, but that means 3 turns already passed. So Dreadnought comes back to its regular size and goes for Razor Leaf, which only heals Bubbles thanks to its ability Water Absorb. Then I take down Dreadnought with another Water Gun, and we win the battle and our second badge. Then we get invited to the restaurant. Good, I was feeling hungry already. The chairman talks with me. Okay, thanks, but where's the food? Oh, and Dark One finally loves me enough to evolve into Umbreon. Nice. The battle with Beatty is easy thanks to my new evolved Dark One. Then we have a battle with Marnie as well, which was a little complicated, but I managed to win as well. So it's time to face Kabu, the fire type gym leader. But first is gym mission, then it's time to the battle. Let's do this! It starts with Ninetales, and of course my choice is Bubbles. Ninetales goes for Will-O-Wisp, and then I go for Water Pulse, which confuses Ninetales on the process. Then the next Water Pulse takes down Ninetales. Next is Arcanine, so I change for Fireball, then I use a Burn Heal for Bubbles, then I go for Bite with Fireball, but Fireball flinch 2 times before it goes down. So I send back Bubbles and Arcanine uses Will-O-Wisp, and Bubbles gets burned again, before he puts Arcanine down with 2 Water Pulses. Last is Scorch, so I change for Frosty, so I can heal the burn again from Bubbles, while Kabu Gigantamax Scorch. It uses Max Flutterby and Frosty goes down. I use a Super Potion while Sparky takes a Max Flutterby. Then I change back for Bubbles to take a G-Max Gentiferno, which doesn't do nothing, but has the same effect as Fire Spin. Then Scorch comes back to normal. Then I Dynamax Bubbles and take down Scorch with a Max Geyser, winning the battle and the 3rd badge. Then I go straight to Armor Lock, then I follow the path to Stone side, and getting there I have to fight Hop. To be honest, I forgot about this fight. As you can see, I'm changing my Dark one for my Sparky. His Cramorant goes down with a Thunderfang. Next is his Silicobra, so I change for Bubbles to take it down with Water Pulse. Next is Thwackey, so I change for Fireball to take it down with 3 Embers. Last is Toxel, so I change for Dark 1 to take it down with 2 Snots, winning the fight. So now it's time to face Pia, the fighting type gym leader. But of course, this weirdly gym mission, and now yes, it's time to face her. She starts with Hitmontop and I go with Tinkerbell. 2 Draining Kisses puts Hitmontop down. Next is Pangoro, which goes down with a single Draining Kiss. Next is Surfetch, and after he uses Protect, I go for a Light Screen and then I use a Draining Kiss to take it down. So last is Machamp, so I Dynamax Tinkerbell and Bia Gigantamax or Machamp. I go for Max Starfall, leaving it on half. Then Machamp goes for Max Strike. Then Machamp is faster on the next turn and use Max Strike again to take down Tinkerbell. So I send Fireball next and I go for Fire Fang. Machamp goes again for Max Strike, which Fireball survives. Then Machamp goes back to his regular size. I go for another Fire Fang, but Machamp survives on the red, then takes down Fireball with Revenge. So next I send Dark One to take it down with a Quick Attack, winning the battle and the 4th badge. This battle was rough. Then out of the gym we hear a weird noise, we go check it out and it's Speedy, and then we have to battle with him. And I use Tinkerbell and Dark One to take down his entire team very quickly, and gets taken by the chairman. Then here I decide to go to the wild area. To be honest, I was feeling a kind of lazy, but after so many times pressing B, I decide to go for the Diggin Brothers so I can get the Nice Stone and finally evolve Frosty into Glaceon. Then we get to Balloon Leah to go face Opal, the fairy type gym leader. She starts with Galarian Weezing and I go with Fireball. In this gym we get stat boosts if you answer correctly Opal's answer, so that makes this gym easy actually. So I take down Weezing with some Fire Fangs and last a Quick Attack. Next is Togekiss, so I change for Frosty, then 2 Icy Wings are enough to put it down. Next is Mawile, so I change back for Fireball. I go for Fire Fang, making a lot of damage, but then a Crunch from Mawile puts Fireball down. So next I send Bubbles to take it down with a Water Pulse. Last is Alcremie, so I change for Frosty. Opal Gigantamax Alcremie, then it goes for G-Mac Finale. I go for Icy Wing for a little damage, then on the next turn I go for another Icy Wing, taking more than half, but then Alcremie takes down Frosty with another G-Max Finale. Then I send Bubbles and I Dynamax it to use Max Hellstorm. Alcremie goes for another G-Max Finale. Alcremie then goes back to its regular size, then I go for another Max Hellstorm, but it still survives. Then Alcremie land a Sweet Kiss, putting Bubbles confused, but we go through confused and land a Max Geyser, putting down Alcremie for good, winning the battle and the 5th badge. Finally. Then Opal takes me right away to Hammerlock, which is good, and after we meet Petey, Opal gets fascinated by its pink color and basically takes him with her. Then we found Hop for another battle, but we defeat him very easily and move on. And then we get to Searchester, where we go face Gordy, the rock type gym leader. He starts with Barbacle and I go with Bubbles. 2 Muddy Waters takes it down. Next is Shuckle and it goes down with a Muddy Water and a Water Pulse. Next is Stonejourner, but it goes down with a single Muddy Water. Last is Colossal. Gordy Gigantamax, I Dynamax. Colossal goes for a G-Max Volcalith, which makes a good chunk of damage, but Bubbles survives and can hit a Max Geyser, which takes down Colossal, winning the battle and the 6th badge. Then I have a battle with Hop, but even when his Snorlax give me a little trouble, I still manage to win the fight. And after that we get to Spike Moth to face Pierce, the Dark type gym leader. He starts with Scrafty and I go with Tinkerbell. Scrafty goes for a priority fake out, then I go for Mr. Terrain and Scrafty goes for Brick Break. Then I use Draining Kiss, taking down Scrafty and healing Tinkerbell back to full. Next is Malamar. It uses Psycho Cut, then I use Draining Kiss, which leaves Malamar on half. Malamar goes for another Psycho Cut, but another Draining Kiss puts Malamar down. Next is Obstagoon, which goes down with a couple of Draining Kisses as well. Last is Skuntank. It puts a Toxic on Tinkerbell, but thanks to Draining Kiss I can stay healthy, and then Skuntank goes down, winning the fight and the 7th badge. Then I go straight to Armorlock to face Raihan, and honestly I don't know if I should call him a Dragon type gym leader or a Weather type Pokemon gym leader. But moving on. We have a double battle with him, so we start with Flygon and Gigalith, and I go with Bubbles and Frosty. Flygon goes for Breaking Swipe and I know Gigalith has the Sandstorm ability, so that's why I decide to use Hell from Frosty. And then I use Muddy Water from Bubbles, while Gigalith goes for Stealth Rock. Then Flygon hits a Thunder Punch on Bubbles, taking it down. But a Freeze Dry from Frosty takes down Flygon. Then Gigalith goes for a Body Press, making a lot of damage to Frosty. Raihan sends Thunder Cobra, while I send Tinkerbell. Thunder Cobra goes for Earth Power on Tinkerbell, then a Moonblast from Tinkerbell takes down Gigalith. Then Frosty takes down Thunder Cobra with Freeze Dry. Unfortunately that activates Thunder Cobra's ability to put again the Sandstorm. Raihan sends his last Pokemon, Duraludon. Then he Gigantamax Duraludon while I Dynamax Frosty. Duraludon uses Max Steel Spikes on Tinkerbell, taking it down. Then I use Max Hellstorm, leaving Duraludon on the red, and starting again the Hell, which of course takes down Duraludon, winning us the fight and the last badge. And now we can go to Wyndham for the Pokemon competition. And we have to face first Marnie. She uses Dark type Pokemon. She starts with Liepard and I go with Tinkerbell. Liepard puts a Torment on Tinkerbell, but then a Moonblast is enough to put Liepard down. Next is Toxicroak, which goes for Swagger, making Tinkerbell confused, but we still can use a Misty Terrain. Then Toxicroak goes for Venoshock, not making too much damage. Then I go for Moonblast, leaving Toxicroak on the red. Marnie heals, while I go for Swift. Then Toxicroak goes for another Swagger, while I go for another Moonblast, to take it down. Next is Morpeko, which I hit with a Swift and a Moonblast to take it down. Next is Scrafty, so I change for Sparky. I go for Double Kick first, while Scrafty goes for Swagger. Then I go for Discharge, while Scrafty goes for Scary Face. But we're still fast enough to take down Scrafty. Last is Grimmsnarl, and I Dynamax my Sparky, while Marnie Gigantamax Grimmsnarl. I go for a Max Lightning, making half damage, then Grimmsnarl goes for Max Starfall, making more than half to Sparky. But then I go for another Max Lightning, taking down Grimmsnarl, winning the fight. Next is our rival Hop. It starts with Dubwall and I go with Sparky. I go for Double Kick while Dubwall goes for Body Slam. We both leave each other on the red until Hop heals Dubwall with a full restore. That leaves the chance to leave Dubwall on the red again. But then Dubwall takes down Sparky with a Body Slam. So I send Fireball and then a priority quick attack takes down Dubwall. Next is Snorlax, so I change for Tinkerbell. I go for a Misty Terrain, then Snorlax goes for a Heavy Slam. I go for Moonblast, making some damage, then Snorlax goes for another Heavy Slam, leaving Tinkerbell on 1 HP, which gives me the chance to go for another Moonblast before Tinkerbell goes down with another Heavy Slam. So I send Frosty next and 2 freeze dries takes down Snorlax. Next is Corviknight, so I change for Fireball. Then I go for a Flare Blitz, taking down Corviknight and taking only some damage from recoil. Next is Sponkurgin, which goes down with 2 Lava Plumes. Last is Rillaboom, so I Dynamax Fireball, while Hop also Dynamax Rillaboom. Fireball takes a Max Darkness and then a Max Flare from Fireball leaves Rillaboom on the red. So now Rillaboom can take down Fireball with a Max Quake. So I send next Frosty, which can take a Max Quake, then it finishes off Rillaboom with a Freeze Dry, winning the fight. And then we leave the stadium and there is some trouble happening, and that means we need to face Oleana. She starts with Frostlass and I go with Fireball. Frostlass goes for Double Team, but we still can hit a Lava Plume to take it down. Next is Milotic, so I change for Sparky. I misclick and I go for Quick Attack, while Milotic goes for Safeguard. Then I go for Thunder, taking down Milotic. Next is Salazzle, so I change for Bubbles. It goes for a Poison Gas first, but then a Muddy Water takes down Salazzle. Next is Serena, so I change back for Fireball. Serena goes for Acrobatics, but then a Flare Blitz takes down Serena. Last is Garbodor, so I change for Frosty. She's Gigantamax Garbodor while I Dynamax Frosty. We take a Max Rockfall, which starts a Sandstorm. Then we go for Max Hellstorm, which takes down the Sandstorm and replaces it for Hail. We take another Max Rockfall, which Frosty survives on 21 HP. Then another Max Hellstorm takes down Garbodor, winning the fight. So we go back to the stadium and our next opponent is BD. Now he became a Fairy type gym leader. He starts with Mawile and I go with Fireball. A single Lava Plume takes down Mawile. Next is Gardevoir, so I change for Dark One. I go for Dark Pulse and Gardevoir starts to go for Calm Minds. I start to get scared, so I change for Sparky. Then Gardevoir hits a Dazzling Gleam that takes exactly 99 HP from Sparky. I go for Thunder, but of course we miss, so Sparky goes down with another Dazzling Gleam. So I send Tinkerbell, then Gardevoir goes for Wish, while I go for Psychic. Gardevoir goes for Psychic and I go for Swift, which immediately healed by Wish. So I go for Misty Terrain, while Gardevoir starts again with Calm Minds. I go for Psycup once again, then Gardevoir hits a Psychic while I go for Moonblast, which takes more than half damage. Another Psychic leaves Tinkerbell on the red, but another Moonblast takes down Gardevoir. Next is Galarian Rapidash. I thought I was faster, but Rapidash takes down Tinkerbell with a takedown. So I send Fireball. Rapidash goes for Psycho Cut and then a Flare Blitz takes down Rapidash. Last is Aturini, so I change for Bubbles. I Dynamax Bubbles and BD Gigantamax Aturini. I go for Max Geyser, making a little damage, then Aturini goes for Max Mindstorm, but now thanks to the rain, my next Max Geyser is stronger and enough to take down Aturini, winning the fight. Next is the fight against Nessa. She starts with Golisopod and I go with Sparky. Golisopod goes for First Impression, making a lot of damage, but a single Thunder takes down Golisopod. Next is Barraskewda, which goes down with a single Discharge. Next is Seeking, and I misclick and I click on Double Team, and because of that Sparky goes down with a Waterfall. So I send Bubbles and I use a Max Revive in Sparky, and Bubbles takes a Mega Horn, and then I change back to Sparky while Seeking goes for Aqua Ring. Then a Discharge takes down Seeking. Next is Pelipper, which makes it rain thanks to his ability Drizzle, so because of that, now I'm not scared that Thunder will miss, so I go for Thunder, and it's enough for Pelipper to go down. Last is Dreadnought, so I Dynamax my Sparky, while Nessa Gigantamax Dreadnought. Then a Max Lightning is enough to take down Dreadnought, winning the fight. Next opponent is Bia. She starts with Hawlucha and I go with Sparky. A single Discharge takes down Hawlucha. Next is Phalanx, so I change for Fireball. A Lava Plume takes more than half and we get the burn as well, and Phalanx goes for a Rock Tomb. Then Phalanx goes for Bulk Up, but another Lava Plume takes down Phalanx. Next is Graplock, and a Lava Plume leaves it on half and Graplock goes for Octolock. But another Lava Plume takes down Graplock. Next is Sarfetch, and I change for Bubbles. A Muddy Water takes more than half and Sarfetch goes for Leaf Blade, but we survive, so another Muddy Water takes down Sarfetch. Last is Machamp, so I change for Tinkerbell. Then I Dynamax Tinkerbell, while Bia Gigantamax Machamp. Then I go for Max Starfall, which leaves Machamp on the red, and Machamp goes for Max Strike, making just a little damage. Then Bia heals Machamps to receive another Max Starfall. Then Machamp goes for Max Flare, but another Max Starfall takes Machamp down, winning the fight. Next opponent is Raihan. He starts with Torkoal and I go with Bubbles. 2 Muddy Waters takes down Torkoal. Next is Goodra, so I change for Frosty. I go for Hail, but of course Goodra uses Rain Dance, so I use again Hail while Goodra goes for Surf. Then a Blizzard takes down Goodra. Next is Turtonator and I go for Blizzard, which Turtonator survives on the red, but it goes down with a Hail. Next is Flygon, it goes for Sandstorm, but still a Blizzard is enough to take it down. Last is Duraludon. Raihan Gigantamax Duraludon while I Dynamax Frosty. Then Duraludon goes for Max Knuckle and I go for Max Hailstorm, which leaves Duraludon on the red, but the Hail starts again because of the Max Hailstorm, so Duraludon goes down with a Hail, winning the fight. Then our next opponent should be Leon, but Rose starts the chaos on the roll, so we need to stop him. But since he only uses Steel types, Fireball takes down all of his Pokemon, except of course Copperajah. Fireball goes down with a Max Quake, but then I bring Bubbles to take Copperajah down with a Muddy Water, winning the fight. Then we have to fight Eternatus, which goes down with a Blizzard from Frosty. Then we have to fight the Eternamax Eternatus, but of course I let Hop and the Legendaries do most of the work, and after the region is safe, it's finally time to face Leon, the champion. It starts with Aegislash and I go with Fireball, which goes down with 2 Lava Plumes. Next is Axorus, so I change for Tinkerbell, and Tinkerbell takes a lot of damage from Aerotail, surviving on the red. But then a Moonblast takes down Axorus. Next is Dragapult, so I change for Frosty. Dragapult goes for Flamethrower, taking half damage to Frosty, but then a Blizzard takes down Dragapult. Next is Mr. Rime, so I change for Dark One, and a few Dark Pulses takes down Mr. Rime. Next is Inteleon, so I change for Sparky, which takes down Inteleon with a Thunder. Last is Charizard, which Leon Gigantamax, and I change for Bubbles, which I Dynamax. Charizard goes for Max Overgrowth, making half damage, and I go for Max Geyser, taking more than half damage to Charizard. Unfortunately, the next Max Overgrowth takes down Bubbles, so I send Sparky to take down Charizard with a Thunder, winning the fight and becoming the champion of Galar. Well, this playthrough was more easier than the last ones. Yes, there was some battles that was a little difficult, but nothing that hard. I hope you enjoyed this simple playthrough with only Eeveelutions, something to start fresh this new year. But the challenges will return next. So if you enjoyed the video, put a like on that video and subscribe to my channel. That helps me a lot and Eevee will also appreciate. I hope I see you on the next video. Peace!